I was just one of the 361,961 babies born on December 18, 2002. Just one of the 251 babies born every single minute that day. December 18th is of course an important day in my life, but through my research has proved to be an important day in the course of history as well. Today, you will learn about what happened in my state, nation, and the world, all on December 18th. To start off with the great state of Minnesota, we'll need to flash back to 1985, when according to an article from the New York Times, Minnesota's first artificial heart transplant took place at Abbott Northwestern Hospital in Minneapolis. The name of the artificial heart used was the Jarvik 7 pump. The recipient of the Jarvik 7, Mary Lund of Kennington, Minnesota, was the first woman to ever receive an artificial heart transplant, though 8 men had previously received artificial hearts in other parts of the country. Now, the reason Mary Lund needed this artificial heart is a story all its own. She was a normal, healthy, 40-year-old woman when suddenly an unknown virus attacked her body, causing a rare condition in her heart muscles. She would not be a candidate for human heart transplant for weeks because the new heart would just get infected with the virus, making it useless. Because of this, doctors had to get special permission from the FDA the day of the surgery to implant the Jarvik 7 into Mary Lund. After the procedure, the Jarvik kept Mary alive for about another year before she unfortunately passed away from multiple organ failure due to the infection spreading to other parts of her body. Since her condition was so rare and unique, it no doubt made Minnesota and medical history. Next is national history. Going back another 120 years from 1985, on December 18, 1865, United States Secretary of State William Seward announced to the Union that the 13th Amendment had been passed, which meant that slavery was illegal. Information received from the Smithsonian Institute states that the 13th Amendment got its start when Congress members began introducing amendments to end slavery. These members included James Ashley of Ohio, John Henderson of Missouri, and James Wilson of Iowa. The amendment was formally introduced to the Senate on February 10, 1864, and it was quickly and easily passed on April 8, 1864. The House of Representatives, however, took until their third vote on January 31, 1865, to finally pass the 13th Amendment. After that, the amendment had to go to the states for ratification. They needed 3/4 or 27 of those states to ratify it to make it a law. It took almost a whole year, but finally, on December 6, 1865, Georgia became the 27th state to ratify the amendment. 12 days later, on December 18th, William Seward gave his historic announcement to the Union that the 13th Amendment had been passed and that slavery was now constitutionally abolished. Lastly is world history. On December 18th, 1958, the world's first communication satellite was launched off the nose of the Atlas missile. It was called Project SCORE, which stands for the Signal Communications by Orbital Relay Equipment. SCORE was made by the U.S. Army Signal Corps, and though it was only used up in space for 35 days, it had a very important impact back here on Earth. SCORE showed the world that it was possible for a satellite to receive a signal from Earth and then immediately send it back down to another place on Earth, which is the basis for all communication satellites that we use today. According to the National Air and Space Museum, President Eisenhower even used this new technology to send a Christmas message of goodwill and hope all over the world. Thanks to Project SCORE, we can now communicate with almost every place on Earth within just seconds. So many breakthroughs took place on just this one December day. There were communication breakthroughs, medical breakthroughs, and even humanitarian breakthroughs. These December 18th events played a crucial role in shaping our state, nation, and the world into what it is today, and I am proud to say that I share a birthday with all of them.